I want to talk to you about Marina Silva, another incredible woman that, you know, nowadays when something goes wrong and I go, I can't do that, I go, well, how can these women do this? Marina lived in the Amazon jungle until the age of 16. In that jungle, she lived with a whole house of siblings, a mother who passed away very young, and she was, as the oldest daughter, one of the people that started working at the age of 10. There was no electricity, no running water, no TV, no flush toilets, and she was illiterate until the age of 16. She goes to the city to cure herself of hepatitis, starts taking classes, and works as a housekeeper. Just last year, she ran for the presidency of Brazil. This is incredible. She's the first black woman to have done something like this. And most people think that next time that she runs, she's going to win. This is, you know, inspirational beyond compare. And how does her life philosophy compare to that of Golda Meir or that of Anais Nin, who was the first Western woman to write best-selling erotica? You know, being a woman means many things. We have so many dimensions. It's not only leading nonprofit groups or being political activist. It's about being an artist, being a great writer, being a sensualist, being someone who is an incredible poet, but most importantly, being someone who you're comfortable with being yourself. I want to talk to you about Amma, a woman that I had the distinct pleasure of meeting. What motivated a poor woman in India to become who is now the living saint of India today? Amma is now seen by millions of people as the embodiment of motherly love. And you guys know what she does all day long? She goes around the globe hugging people. That is her mission. And believe it or not, a few years ago, and this is even before I did my book, I was just so curious about this woman that I decided that when she comes to Los Angeles, I'm going to visit her. And okay, we're all Persian women here. Let's be honest. Who likes to wait in line? Nobody. I know. So imagine that I had to wait in line with another 5,000 people. I go through awful LA traffic to go to this airport hotel, and I stand in line and I think, either everybody here is absolutely out of their minds, including myself, or there's something really special to really experience through this encounter. And what I have to tell you is that the waiting and watching the sea of people just going to be embraced by her, and then seeing them be overwhelmed with tears or laughter in her arms was one of the most moving experiences I've ever had. And to tell you the truth, I think that if each and every one of you were there, you would have felt the same thing. Because it's quite powerful to see thousands of people from different walks of life to be gathered around for one particular reason, and that is to be loved. It was an amazing experience. So Amma holds the record for hugging 25,000 people in one day. That is 25,000 people have lined up to get a hug from her. And what do you think is her total number of hugs in her lifetime that they have counted? Believe me, it's more than all of us counted together in our lifetime, even though we go to such big parties. It's 28 million hugs. 28 million hugs. And what is it about Amma and these women that awakens the goodwill of other people to share in her vision and make significant changes in the world? Amma, for example, has built orphanages and hospitals all over India. And she is, by the way, the first woman to found a temple with other women officiating the rituals in India. I also met Wangari Maathai a few years ago, and unfortunately she just died a few months ago of cancer. But she was the first environmentalist ever to win the Nobel Peace Prize. And this woman from Kenya has inspired hundreds of thousands of other African women in the continent to plant over 13 million trees for the environment. The women I showcase in the book led very different lives. They lived in different parts of the world, made their impact in different disciplines, whether it was art, literature, politics, working in the nonprofit world, or human rights activists, or entrepreneurship and business. Yet what I found in studying their lives is that there were fundamental core beliefs that all of them shared with each other that I'd like to share with you. I showcase Estée Lauder in our book, and obviously she's a founder of the $8 billion cosmetic industry. And she used to say, if you want to succeed, make the most of what you've got. And this is exactly what all these women did. The case for leading a fulfilling and successful life, women, I really think is like the most important thing that I got out of all this research, is really concentrating on our strengths. None of the women that were showcased in the book were really perfect beings at all. They all had very flawed characteristics, and we all do. But what's so important is that these women from early on knew what their talents were, they knew who they were about, and they stuck to that. And you know, research has shown that all of us women tend to really pin down on our weaknesses and start getting at it and trying to tell ourselves that we could be better. But maybe the key to a more fulfilling life is really knowing who we are, where our talents are, and focusing on that, and building a life around those strengths. Of course, courage, having faith in our abilities, and the future, persistence are all very important in success. But here's another thing that really puts these women off the map, off the grid, is that these women really thought of reality in a completely different way. Their perspective on reality is completely different than what we are used to seeing. And in one of my interviews with these honorees, I asked her, I said, what is it that you have been able to see things that were not even here yet, but you had the vision to bring it forward, to manifest it? And the key is that you have to think outside of a paradigm. You have to have a paradigm shift. That means that you have to ask yourself new questions and answer it with your own heart, with your own wisdom. And these are the women that have done it.